Hello there, my name is Retro Lucky Takaba Animation, and today we'll talk about Season 7 of Dragon, the Nine Realms. This Season 7 of Dragon was pretty good. I don't think it's better than last season. I feel it's sort of intense. I mean, it was really intense, all the little things they actually went into. But of course, they also skipped one major thing, what happened on Season 6. That Season 6, they sort of leave a cliffhanger that butts up burned down the whole town, and the parents didn't know Basa was a thing because their dragon riders never fully explained this guy actually existed. And also, this guy was hunting their children. They forgot or lied to actually tell them till the results what happened on season 6. The end. He burned the whole town, and now they had to be explained. That's sort of a cliffhanger what happened to the end of season 6, and season 7 should pick up where it left off. Yes and no. What I mean, they just skip it and lift it to the aftermath. What I mean is, they talk about what happened in a few little moments, but never really went deep dive what actually happened. What was the conversation? What was the portrayal of the parents felt the kids never told them or trust them to tell them about Buzzsaw. It was sort of a weird choice, I have to say. But at the same time, you really think about it, they only have 7 episodes to tell for this season. So I guess they made the best decision they can. Just sort of skip it instead of referencing they got punished. And move on and regrow their trust their parents once again. Because season 7 was more focused on the team. They were basically falling apart because everybody has their own responsibility, what they're doing, but not focus on the team themselves because it's that time of each member are basically getting tired of each other, but at the same time growing distant because the choices they make. It was an interesting sort of idea, but the only problem is you only have 7 episodes. That's 7 episodes. You have to be very careful what you do because this super storyline can easily fall apart. It doesn't really make sense, or the relationship could be meaningless. But at the end, it did work because you felt the pressure of each member, feeling they're failing, they're trying not to break up, trying to unite as a team, till they decide to have sort of a day off from each other for a little while. It was sort of interesting to see how each character deal with it. At least the time we have with that. Of course, they also focus on something very major. It's about Tom and June sort of finally being a couple. So sort of exploring it because they were sort of developing it several seasons to right now, making it sort of official. Yeah, I did enjoy the sort of relationship and fighting that got together, but at the same time, I do appreciate something very specific that they actually point out one major BS animation usually do. Sort of force the male lead character to say something, but say sort of wrong, and he feels betrayed by the other half of his partner. You know what I'm saying? Like they usually focus on that specifically on Tom. Like, what do you mean? You think I'm weird? They kind of that awkward sort of finally saying yes, but that one final hiccup, going one step forward, going 2 steps back kind of situation. But sort of forced Tom in the middle of the friend group to tell his feelings about June. That is sort of very cliche, done so many times, but sometimes such a big BS because usually that's sort of wrong in a way because they never point out that sort of kind of unusual to tell someone your own feelings in front of everyone, especially the person you like, and something that usually other shows never point out that just sort of kind of wrong. And this sort of episode they do focus on that because they reverse it to June, who is upset because Tom said the wrong thing and feel disappointed in it because he didn't say his feelings, but yet he was the one who was pressured to tell his feelings because he wasn't ready. And Tom flipped that to June, doing her pressure on her to tell the exact same thing how she felt, and realizing, this kind of BS because she wasn't prepared either. And that's the whole point. Like, that's how rare that really is because usually They just do the old fashioned, oh, I put my foot in my mouth, I ruined the moment kind of situation. And it's one of the few shows point out that's kind of BS. You mean you put a lot of pressure on one specific person instead being sort of personal and sort of intimate about two different characters by themselves instead of being in a group. Yeah, I like they point out that sort of kind of wrong. But besides that, the relationship was still very enjoyable. Of course, I think the kind of the crown of the whole story of season 7 is Bossa and Dr. Slickling actually finally working together as a team to get what they want. Bossa finally he has a king dragon to take over the old dragon kind, and Dr. Slickling get her crystals. But I feel sort of interesting that Bossa get what he wanted, but not realizing it was a bad idea. But before that, I did like the dynamic of Dr. Slickling and Bossa. They have this sort of kind of binding up relationship, but the only problem is we don't have enough, but at least enough to understand they're basically like negative and positive. They just don't mix, and I just enjoy that because both of them are just so different, but they need to work together, going back and forth, arguing, bickering. Just sort of interesting to see how they both need each other, one the other trying to one up each other to help themselves. And the end, they don't get what they want. But in the end, it's just sort of fascinating how this sort of relationship only lasted for a little while. But it's something I wanted more, but because it has 7 episodes, they still get to the point that is still interesting. Of course, Bossa got what he wanted. He wanted his king dragon. He got it. But he never realized the dragon he wanted was so dangerous, he ate his own dragon. And finding that moment, yeah, that moment, his reaction, he's realized it was a bad idea. No, really? Like the moment things got real, Bossa ran like a coward. I kind of disappointed that the Earth, the main evil dragon, the King Dragon, I forget his title name, that he ate his dragon, but he never ate Bossa. I was sort of disappointed because maybe they're waiting for season 8 to do that, but I wanted to see that. I want to see that sort of crushed moment, but that's just me. But besides that, I did enjoy all of it. I also enjoyed they show the 7 dragon realm that was sort of like a desert with this very unique troll dragon who actually is protecting the interests of the main evil dragon. But I love that sort of exploration, especially that new world that was sort of interesting and fun to see. That I wasn't sure that was covered in the original series or on the books. I'm not 100% sure that you could clarify that down below for me, please. Someone who actually is a hardcore fan. But besides that, I really enjoyed that world. The only thing is, the problem with this series is just so limited to 7 episodes that you know you need at least 10 to explore a few more things, add new things, because they do suffer because of shortness of episodes. But yet, it got there. It was intense. The relationship of the team, Tom and June, their relationship, how they actually work, how they find what's together. I also like how Mr. D finally has his hospital, but his dad doesn't want him to have it because he was expecting something else for him. I love they do explore that a little bit more. I mean, a lot of little things, they feel they never waste time. They trying to get straight to the point and develop it. Of course, I was expecting a little bit more, but once more, last season was great. This one was still good, but not as good as last season, but still had at least a little common sense. But other than that, I can't really send much of disappointment. I just enjoyed it. The only complaint is the basic one that I wish they just have a different art style. That's the only complaint I usually have about this. But all of this, it was a great time. I enjoyed it. I have one question. How you felt about this season? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you actually hate June? Because, not June, Eugene. Because Eugene, he was basically the mouthpiece of the fans who hate this series or question things because he was sort of a troll of this season. I mean, he was sort of constantly just being sassy till he became the heart of the whole team at the very end. That he really questioned the team, the reason why they broke up, and he's the one who sort of unite them in a very strange way. But it works. But at the same time, Nugini needed this sort of win because he became sort of unlikable on purpose. But again, it got there. It was interesting, was different. I did enjoy this ride. Even I had my nitpicks, I did love everything about this. Except for me, one episode I feel was a little slow. But besides that, it's just nitpicks. But all that, I got nothing else to say. Just one question: did you like this season or not? What do you hate? What do you like? Comment down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.